Afternoon all, no respawns here. Hope you're having a good weekend. So we're at Finch Farm because I'm fucking sick and tired of gunners attacking this place. They're still gonna attack the place. However, we're building a wall to stop them from at least spawning everywhere and at least funneling a few of them down, because in this instance they do spawn outside the build area, so it's pretty grand. Just build a wall so they only come through the doors, because it's always really high level gunners and it's just a complete pain in my arse. It's kind of reason why I started building at the slog as well. I'm using the technique from the last video, the kind of walls that I put on Starlight Driving, because I wanted to see how far I could take this. Just a quick note though, the doorway, I already decided midway through this that I'm actually going to do a guardhouse, like a kind of a new gateway. That's why it looks kind of, I haven't really embellished it very much, because we're actually going to have a separate video where I redo the entrance. So think of that doorway there as just a placeholder. While we're doing this part here, I want to give a special shout out, because I had one of my subscribers, a YouTuber as well, called Julia, who has a channel, Hjortskit. She's Dutch, don't worry, I will link the channel into the description. Did a really, really cool fan art of me with Hancock. I'll have it pop up now. It's very, very cool. She has quite a unique art style, but I thought you guys might like it that she does speed painting videos, so you can actually see her painting the entire thing. I find this shit absolutely fascinating. The amount of skill that goes into it, the amount of layering as well. I know we're talking about Games Workshop in the last video, and that kind of layering technique is how I used to paint my models. It's interesting to see people use it when they're actually doing kind of actual art, as opposed to, you know, me kind of dry brushing and layering geeky orcs and shit. So yeah, definitely check out her channel and definitely check out her art as well. It's very, very cool. I'm quite pleased. That is now my new Twitter avatar, me and Hancock Bro just hanging out. So anyway, back to the walls. So as you can see, I'm using the same technique. Now what I do in this video, because this took me about an hour and a half to do everything, it was quite time consuming, so I kind of cut ahead a few times, like because there's quite a lot of repetition, as you're going to see. But I do show you the kind of basic technique of how I'm basically, you see, I've alternated it, so I've got one chest high wall, effectively, and then one of the normal high walls. And I do it in kind of areas of the wall. So I don't do, initially when I did this, I did the whole thing freehand, so I would actually glitch each wall in. But one, that would have probably taken me close to 3 hours. And doing this way allows me to kind of do it section at a time. So the reason why I've sunk it into the ground, because it allows me to do this part easier, where I'm actually adding the detail to the walls. And then I can just do the select all and just raise it back up again. And I basically kept it quite loose with what I do. I just basically inside the, you can see here, where we've got the chest high walls, I just keep adding shit. And just so that way that no piece of wall actually looks exactly the same. This is the one instance as well, because these aren't actually being railings. I'm actually using the double railing piece. Those of you who don't know, back in the day, we haven't made this joke in a while, but back in the day, about March-ish, April, I was quite against people using this double railing. I am still against people using this double railing, because I think it looks shit and we don't have any double railings to complement it, but it looks pretty funky when just adding detail onto these walls. You may notice this technique, I'm looking at it now, is quite similar to, what's it called? Murkwater Construction, that's the one. So it's very similar to Murkwater Construction in a lot of ways, in the sense of that it's very, very scrappy. There's definitely some changes I need to do on this settlement though. Like that elevator needs, I remember we did the elevator video in Finch Farm ages ago, and I've realised I do need to make some changes a little about it, because it currently right now, like functionally it works pretty cool, but it's a bit too much of an eyesore. I think I just need to add detail onto it, make it a little bit more colourful, potentially. Look at those walls, by the way. Look at them. Look at them. See, no single piece looks the same. Absolutely love it. I did that doorway, though, does need. So you just get them in place. Raise. Then raise them again. What I do right here is put it in the centre. It's much easier. If you're doing it on the edge, the reason being is if you just adjust the left bumper left or right, it's going to shunt very sharply. And it's going to be very hard to get the whole thing straight, whereas here it's just a little bit easier. I had the same issue when I was doing those quite large walls in Sanctuary. And as you can see, we've raised it off there a little bit, but then we can just sink in some chest-high walls. We call them chest-high walls. These things here. When I get them out, see, I've got the gap 1, 2, 3. Is it 3? Yeah, 3. So we can just basically just sink these in. It's all grand. Oh, the weather here was proper shit as well. It was proper shit. bloody annoying. It wasn't foggy, it was just constantly grey. See, I've got that firework launcher. Ended up having to just stop doing it. Like, stop. I basically just accept this kind of slightly mediocre weather. Normally like it quite sunny. Also, the positioning of Finch Farm just under this bridge means that you actually, for most of the day, get quite a lot of grey, not grey weather, but shadow. So you can't really start recording in the morning. It has to be kind of afternoon, about 2 p.m. See, this is about 4, and this is where the sun is in the right position, where it's not shadowed by the bridge. But so we've done that now. And it looks kind of, not similar-ish similar to, in terms of the format, potentially, of Jamaica Plain in a lot of ways. In the fact is that I basically was inspired by Jamaica Plain, not Jamaica Plain, Starlight, in the fact of mixing buses in. So kind of, oh yeah, I keep selecting these stupid veggies. Interesting, look at this. So I hold select there, and look, it still grabs. Like, they're miles away, but for some reason it grabs these mute fruit. I don't know. I don't know things, but it's all right. There's a little bit of the old grass poking through on the inside of here, but it's all right, to be honest. I really like the way this one's turned out. You'll see the tour non-sped up the end, don't you worry. But I'm quite pleased with it, and I was surprised it works so well. I wasn't too sure. I was worried. My one criticism, maybe, of these walls is they're a little bit spindly. So the fact that it's quite a... not a lot, it's a reasonably large area, and you've got some parts of the wall should probably have been broken up a little bit more. There we go, I've just kind of skipped ahead so you don't see me do the detail. But then in the next one, I show you doing the detail. It's fine. I just cut bits out so you're not repeating myself all the time. But yeah, like this part looks fine. But there are parts in, like the front, mainly the front, which is why the gatehouse needs to be added on, that it looks a little bit too unsupported. Like with the ones between, you know, the bus right there, and then this one here, which is going to have a box cut, it looks fine. But where we've got the front, and I think the side as well, it could do with maybe having a building on the inside, so it at least looks like it's part of it. So I'll probably do that in another video, I think, just to kind of, because right now it just looks a little bit unsupported and not so grand. But you can see what I'm doing here. I just kind of basically mix and match and alternate and kind of try different techniques. It's quite fun, this, actually, because I'm just like, right, okay, how am I going to add the detail to it this time? And then we're doing this. I do have to scrap a few of the cars. I know you can, like, move the cars around with, like, with miniguns or corpses or whatever, but I didn't, because these are named NPCs here, I'm very conscious of exploding cars in attacks. I actually had to reload once because I think it was his wife, whatever her name is, got blown to pieces by one of the cars at the back. So I've actually decided to scrap half of them so that way they don't get shot and explode. See, it looks pretty cool right there. It's sunk in. There are a few gaps in between the walls. I don't show you much of it, but I just plug a lot of those with junk fences. But you'll see in the tour when I go around. So I opted for an orange boxcar. I always go for the blue as a default. Opted for the orange today. It's all very, very exciting. I'm really pleased with that one. So what I'm going to do, I've got a plan for... we are still going back to Red Rocket, don't worry. But I think I'm going to... because I really hate it when my settlements with named NPCs get attacked. It really pisses me off because I can't ignore it. If I ignore it, it's highly likely one of them will die. So whenever, like... during this recording as well, Warwick Homestead got attacked twice, I think. Yeah, no, and then also I got Somerville Place, which isn't technically named, but it's got one adult and two kids. I can't leave them alone. So I need to basically places with existing settlers. I'm gonna, like, ones that are already there. I need to actually at least get walls and turrets in place. So at least when I go there, I know that I'm not gonna be, because I always have to pop jet now. Because if I don't, it's highly likely I'm going to lose someone, so I have to do the whole fights in slow motion. It would probably just record all of them. They make for good supporting footage. As you can see right here, like, I'm showing you a bit more detail to remind you what I do. I just alternate between the two. You could, I mean, to be honest, what you could have done, and I possibly might have done it over a smaller area, is actually individually do each wall, so you can make them really unique. And that way, because when I first did it, which is when I had to re-record, I actually did do them individually, so they were all different heights as well. So like the actual, the non-chest high walls were all alternating heights, And that would be cool. The problem is I was very conscious of it taking fucking ages to do. That was kind of why I didn't do it. Because I started and I was like, this is taken way too long. And this footage is a nightmare to chop up anyway. So it looks pretty cool. It looks really cool, actually. I actually get better, as you can see, doing the walls. Like, this wall looks better than the one in the front. But it's all cool. It's quite a nice technique. I think the elevator, as I said, just needs a little bit of work. Because it's a bit of an eyesore. I just think adding a bit of colour to it. What do you guys think? What should I do with the elevator? How shall I make it not contrast so shittily? Shittily, that's a word. I don't know if it's a word or not. It is a word now. But yeah, because it just, when you'll see it in the tour, but I'll look up and it's just quite, like, the walls look really cool, but you're like, I want the elevator because basically we are actually going to have an upstairs. I'm really conscious of my colonists? God, no, it's not Rimworld, David. Me settlers falling off to their death. But we will see. Yeah, see, we're putting a little, what do we call it? Little thing. What's it called? Trailer. That's what they're called. This is my generator. This is my firework thing. Well, we're doing this little boring pie. It's really good, by the way, that a lot of you have been watching my other videos. It's quite pleasing. I know a lot of people have started buying Rimworld, which is going to be grand. I love the fact that I've probably wasted loads of your man hours. Just fantastic. I think I've wrecked about 100 hours on that game and only bought it a couple of weeks ago, so I feel your pain. If you're wondering what I've been doing right now, I've been playing lots of Sunless Sea because the Submariner update. I know I mentioned in my last video, but seriously, I've been playing so much of that. Because I racked up about 60, 70 hours on Sunless Sea before, when it was in early access. And now it's out of early access, so there are loads of stuff I hadn't touched. Plus you get the submarines, which is great fun. Seriously, it was on sale recently for about $5, but keep an eye on GOG, because I imagine it'll go on sale again. But it is great fun. It's so, if you like those kind of choose-your-own-adventure games, it's a really fun game, and it's really creepy as well. And the writing is insanely just insane. It's really insane. But you also have, like, dynasties of captains. So I'm on my 4th. Because I knew how to make money. So what I've gone and done is I've basically bought myself the best ship. Well, maybe not the best ship, but the second one. So I've got the frigate, basically. But at that point, I'd kind of rinsed the main quests for getting lots of money. But the thing is, the story lets. So what I did is I then sold everything, and I've started a new captain with all the legacies, because he's the son, so he's the son of my old captain, with all the legacies which give you stat boost, loads of money, and because the money-making storylets, the quest storylets, I think they're called storylets, but are basically not a very small amount, I've still got the entire game to play. It's so cool. So I'm currently ploughing around in a frigate. I've got quite a funky little crew. I've got also that I was able to do the money making quests again, but you can make more money doing them with a bigger hold and things like that. So it's pretty cool. I'm having a whale of a time. I also defeated there's a unique enemy. They're like legendary enemies that you find, and I defeated what's it called? It's a submarine called the Irrepressible, which is on the east side of the map, which I completely cheesed because my character had high stealth. You can have stealth veils, basically, and I was able to basically take it up twice because it respawns by shooting it with all my lights off under the sea and shooting it where it couldn't see me out of the shadows, and I just kept reversing. It was fun because I'm a cheesy fuck. Anyway, yeah, basically, Sunless Sea, absolutely awesome. You should definitely check it out. That way you'll understand all the tweets that I make, because I'm reasonably sure barely anyone I know plays it, even though it's quite popular. So people are like, oh, that looks nice. I'm like, yeah, it's alright. So as you can see, this is looking pretty cool. It's looking alright. I'm quite pleased. I'm a bit pissed off with the fucking weather, though. Because I can't make it as nice. I mean, I think because the weather kept changing here so much, I was going to make it so I was, coming back and forth. I was going to make it so I was always in the sun, but it was just a case of I got, like, maybe 5 minutes at a time, and this took an hour and 20 minutes, so you get my point. It took a while. I mean, it took out 20 minutes with me running off and defending, and also running out of resources and having to disappear off, but basically it was alright. So, yes. Nearly done now. You'll like it. You'll like it. Let's go. And don't worry, the tour is all nice weather and all grand. It's... I'm trying to think what else this place needs. So, like, the good thing is, with Finch Farm, is I haven't got much space... Oh, good. It won't be hard for me to fill out this lower level of space. We're going to have one building on this side here to break up this wall, I think. I kind of want to repopulate his junk pile a little bit because it's kind of a... It's part of the dialogue choices, so it'll be fun to add in. And also... Yeah, but I am conscious, as I mentioned, about, like, if I have them up on the bridge, hopefully I'm going to make sure none of them are assigned to work up there and none of their beds, because what I don't want to do is have them actually spawn up there and then fall off. That's something. So I'm going to have, like, yeah, I'll have to put railings over the top so they don't fall down. Hopefully. Yeah, I'm just going to have to basically be very mindful. I don't want to come in and find corpses. I had someone from, Warwick Homestead not get killed by raiders, but what actually happened was, while I was trying to unlock, this is a glitch, some of you may have had this, where a load of them got stuck in one of the septic tanks, and it was actually Roger Warwick who got stuck in there, and another settler, and the other settler eventually drowned. Roger I managed to get out by shunting him out, but the other one drowned, and I couldn't get that person back. Made me sad. It's alright. See, it looks cool, doesn't it? It looks cool. I like this. But I do need to break it up. And so my big kind of advice with this one is make sure you don't have large pieces of wall without anything kind of breaking them up, or it'll just look a little bit wank, really. So I'm going to put that in. So this is how I was going to do it, like individually place them in, because then you can, it does look a little bit better. I mean, looking at it, I mean, I guess I could just take them out and kind of raise a few of them up and down, because if you're looking at it, I realise most of the details are actually added on the sides of these bigger walls, not on top of them. So they could do it. I guess, maybe. Maybe. We will have a ponder. God, I've been needing to do this area for ages. I've got to do this one. I've got to do Abernathy. It's all of the fucking annoying settlements with no fucking defense. Pisses me off, stupid bloody gunners, bunch of bastards. And there we go. So then we just got to do this part here. This part actually took me a lot longer than it looks because I couldn't decide what to do. I was like, guess we'll do a bit of this. So I eventually settled on this idea of just using 2 junk fences. Seriously, that was like 20 minutes. You have no idea how much footage I have to chop up. And it's really painful because I quick save a lot. Because if I don't, I've learned I then accidentally forget to save or something goes wrong and I have to redo a bit. So I quick save a lot. So I'd like, I'm destroying the magic, just ruin the magic, really, ruining the mystery. But basically, I quick save a lot when I do these. And I end up having to painfully chop up so much footage. See that log right there? I couldn't scrap it. Cannot scrap that log. And you'll see it's always in the way of my fucking pillar. I hate that log. That log is a bastard. Hate it, and I hate its family. And there we go. There are a few details I show, but it's just plugging gaps. It looks grand. So here we go. Here it is. So you can see the front here. That gate is a placeholder. Just imagine like a bigger gatehouse that's kind of coming out a little bit. Be the same size, and it'll probably use a normal shaped door. Probably the junk fence one, but it will look like more of an actual structure, and it'll break up the wall a little bit because that's the slight issue with this one. Whether I'm quite pleased for the most part of how this wall looks, I just think that giant elevator is a bit of an eyesore, and we need to kind of break up the front a little bit. Yes. Anyway, as always, follow me on Twitter at norespawns. Again, link to Hjortskits. Sorry, I can't speak Dutch. Her channel, Julia, her name is. Her channel in the description. Definitely check out her speed painting. It's really, really quite cool. I think you guys will quite like it. And I will have a Rimworld video up tomorrow, and then a Fallout video the day afterwards. I don't know if we'll be going to Red Rocket. We'll be doing Finch Farm. I haven't even thought that far ahead, to be honest. Anyway, love you all. Take care.